The text from my mother came 3 days before Thanksgiving. Daniel's bringing his hospital administrator to dinner. Please don't mention your situation. This is important for his career. My situation. The autoimmune disease destroying my kidneys. The dialysis keeping me alive 3 times a week. The catheter in my chest that connected me to a machine for 4 hours every session. That situation. At 29 I looked like I'd aged 15 years. Gray skin, thinning hair, 30 pounds lighter than I should be. But sure Mom, I'd make myself invisible so Daniel could impress his boss. My younger brother Daniel was a resident at St. Luke's Hospital, the same hospital where I received dialysis. At 26 he was everything my parents wanted. Doctor, engaged to another doctor, featured in promotional materials as a rising star. His Instagram overflowed with perfectly posed scrub photos and captions about saving lives. Meanwhile, I was a medical writer working from home between dialysis sessions, ghostwriting articles for physicians who understood suffering. I made good money, enough to cover my astronomical medical bills. But to my family I wasn't successful. I was sick. And worse, inconvenient. Emma's always tired, my father said when I missed family events. Maybe if you exercised more, Daniel suggested when I mentioned chronic fatigue. Have you tried going vegan? My mother asked as if diet would regenerate dying kidneys. Daniel was the worst. As a doctor in training, he treated my illness like a personal insult to his medical knowledge. You're probably not taking your medications correctly, he'd said when my kidney function dropped. I took 17 medications daily, timed precisely. You should get a second opinion, he said when my nephrologist added me to the transplant list. I'd gotten 4 opinions. All said the same thing: without a transplant maybe 2 years. Are you sure you need dialysis 3 times a week? That seems excessive. Like I chose to spend 12 hours weekly hooked to a machine for fun. Last Thanksgiving I'd been in the ICU with sepsis from an infected catheter. I almost died. Daniel posted on Instagram about being thankful for family while eating turkey at my parents' house. He never visited once during my week-long hospitalization. This year I was stable enough to attend. Barely. I'd scheduled dialysis for Tuesday and Thursday, leaving Wednesday free. It meant I'd feel terrible Thursday. Fluid buildup and toxins made me nauseous and exhausted, but I'd be there. I almost didn't go. But something stubborn in me, the same stubbornness that kept me fighting when doctors said my prognosis was grim, made me RSVP yes. I arrived at 2 p.m. already exhausted. My mother opened the door and frowned. Emma, you look terrible. Did you do something with your makeup? I'm on dialysis, Mom. This is what kidney failure looks like. Well, try to smile more. Daniel's boss is very important. She lowered her voice. And please don't talk about your medical stuff. Just for today. In the dining room, Daniel sat with his fiancée Claire and an older man in an expensive suit. Daniel stood all professional charm. Emma. You made it. This is Dr. Richard Foster, Chief Medical Officer at St. Luke's. Dr. Foster shook my hand warmly. Nice to meet you, Emma. Daniel speaks very highly of his family. Does he? I wanted to ask. Did he mention leaving me in the ICU? Hold up. Dinner was painful in ways unrelated to kidney failure. My mother had prepared an elaborate spread. Turkey, stuffing, 3 kinds of potatoes, vegetables and butter. Almost everything was high in sodium, potassium or phosphorus. Things that could stop my heart. Emma, eat something, my father said, noticing my empty plate. You're too thin. I can't eat most of this. Kidney diet restrictions. Oh right, my mother said dismissively. Your diet. I forgot you're being picky about food now. It's not being picky. High potassium can cause cardiac arrest in kidney patients. Everything's so complicated with you, she said, serving Dr. Foster more turkey. Daniel never complains. Daniel laughed. Emma's always been high maintenance about health stuff. Even as kids. Claire nodded. Daniel mentioned you're very focused on your medical issues. Focused? As if I'd chosen kidney failure as a hobby. Emma's on dialysis, Dr. Foster said, looking concerned. That's quite serious. How long? 6 months. Waiting for a transplant. That must be incredibly difficult. Dialysis 3 times a week. Yes, sir. Daniel jumped in. Emma's doing fine. She's just dramatic about it. Dialysis is pretty routine these days. The table went quiet. Dr. Foster's expression shifted. Routine for whom? He asked carefully. I just mean dialysis technology has improved. It's not as bad as Emma makes it sound. She acts like she's dying when really, plenty of people live normal lives on dialysis. For how long? Dr. Foster asked. What? How long do people typically live on dialysis without a transplant? Daniel shifted uncomfortably. I mean years probably. It's not urgent. The 5-year survival rate for dialysis patients is around 50%, Dr. Foster said quietly. Worse than most cancers. I know because my sister died on dialysis waiting for a transplant. The silence was deafening. Daniel's face flushed. I didn't mean, Emma just tends to exaggerate how bad she feels. Do you? Dr. Foster turned to me. Exaggerate? I don't know how to exaggerate kidney failure. Either they work or they don't. Mine don't. Emma's always been dramatic, my mother interjected. Since childhood. Daniel's the practical one. Practical, Dr. Foster repeated. Is it practical to minimize a family member's terminal illness? It's not terminal, Daniel said quickly. She's on the transplant list. She'll get a kidney. Maybe, I said quietly. Average wait is 3 to 5 years. My nephrologist says I might not make it that long. See? Daniel gestured at me. This is what I mean. Always catastrophizing. You're not dying, Emma. Stop being so negative. Daniel, Claire said softly, uncomfortable. What? He was defensive now, voice rising. I'm a doctor. I know what I'm talking about. Emma just likes the attention from being sick. She always has. The attention of dialysis? I asked. The attention of vomiting from uremia? The attention of not being able to eat Thanksgiving dinner because the food could kill me. You could eat if you wanted to, he snapped. You're just being difficult. Trying to make everything about you. It's Thanksgiving, Emma. Could you just be normal for once? I have kidney failure, Daniel. This is my normal. God, you're exhausting, he said, throwing his napkin down. Do you know how hard it is having a sister who's constantly sick? Who makes every family event about her health problems? 6 months of this. 6 months of poor Emma and her dialysis. Meanwhile, I'm actually working in medicine, actually helping people, and nobody cares because you're always sucking up all the attention with your victim act. Victim act. My voice shook. You think I'm choosing this? I think you like being the center of attention, he said cruelly. I think you like playing the sick little sister so everyone feels sorry for you. You could probably improve your kidney function if you actually tried. Lose weight, exercise, take supplements. But that requires effort, and it's easier to just be sick and make it everyone else's problem. Dr. Foster stood abruptly. Dr. Chin, I'd like a word. In private. Now. Revelation. They stepped into the kitchen. Through the doorway I heard Dr. Foster's voice, low and furious. In what medical school did you learn that kidney failure is a choice? That dialysis patients are attention-seeking? That autoimmune disease responds to supplements? I didn't mean, Daniel stammered. You're an internal medicine resident. You should know that autoimmune kidney disease is progressive and fatal without treatment. You should know dialysis patients have mortality rates comparable to cancer patients. You should know your sister is dying. She's not dying. She told you her nephrologist doesn't think she'll survive the transplant wait. She's on dialysis 3 times a week. She can't eat this meal because the potassium could stop her heart. And you called her dramatic. Dr. Foster's voice shook with anger. Your own sister. Your patient population. And you have so little empathy, so little basic medical understanding, that you're telling her she's faking it. You were just demonstrating exactly why you shouldn't be practicing medicine. Footsteps. Dr. Foster returned to the dining room, face carefully neutral. Daniel followed, pale and shaken. Emma, Dr. Foster said gently, I apologize that this happened. As chief medical officer at St. Luke's, the hospital where you received dialysis, this behavior is unacceptable. Would you be willing to file a formal complaint about Dr. Chen's treatment of you? She's not my patient, Daniel said quickly. She's my sister. You just spent 10 minutes giving her medical advice. Telling her she could cure kidney failure with supplements and weight loss. Telling her dialysis is routine and she's exaggerating. That sounds like practicing medicine to me. Bad medicine. I was speaking as her brother. Were you speaking as her brother when you suggested she didn't really need dialysis 3 times a week? When you questioned her nephrologist's treatment plan? When you diagnosed her with attention-seeking behavior? Dr. Foster pulled out his phone. I have colleagues on the medical board who would be very interested in a resident who minimizes serious illness in family members. It suggests a pattern of poor clinical judgment. You can't do this, Daniel said desperately. I'm about to finish residency. I have fellowship interviews. You just told a dialysis patient she's faking kidney failure. You demonstrated fundamental misunderstanding of disease pathology, prognosis, and patient care. You showed complete lack of empathy for suffering. And you did it at dinner with the CMO of your training hospital. So yes, Dr. Chen, I can absolutely do this. He turned to me. Emma, I'm so sorry you've been dealing with this. My sister went through something similar. Family who didn't understand how serious dialysis was until it was too late. I won't let that happen to you. Thank you, I whispered, tears streaming. Dr. Foster made a call right there, speakerphone. Dr. Patricia Morrison? This is Richard Foster. I'm at dinner with one of our internal medicine residents, Daniel Chen. I need you to hear something. He looked at Daniel. Repeat what you said about dialysis being routine. About Emma exaggerating. Sir, please. Repeat it, or I'll repeat it for you at tomorrow's resident review board. Daniel's voice was barely audible. I said, dialysis wasn't that serious. That Emma was dramatic about being sick. Emma has end-stage renal disease, Dr. Foster told the phone. She's on the transplant list. Her prognosis without a transplant is poor. And Dr. Chen told her she could cure it with vitamins and weight loss. Jesus Christ, a woman's voice said. Is he serious? Completely. I witnessed it. Dr. Chen's residency status is under immediate review. He's suspended from clinical duties pending investigation. Tell him to report to my office tomorrow at 8 a.m. Daniel's face went white. No. Please. Your sister is dying, Dr. Foster said quietly. And you treated her like she was inconveniencing you. That's not just cruel, Dr. Chen. It's medically dangerous. If you treat family like this, how do you treat actual patients? Resolution. The investigation took 1 week. Dr. Morrison interviewed me, reviewed my medical records, spoke with my nephrologist. She pulled Daniel's resident evaluations and found a pattern. Patient complaints about him being dismissive and lacking empathy. Nurses reported he often questioned specialists' treatment plans and told patients they were overreacting. One patient filed a complaint after Daniel told her chest pain was probably anxiety without running tests. She'd had a pulmonary embolism. Another reported Daniel said her chronic pain was all in her head. She had a spinal tumor. The medical board suspended Daniel's license pending completion of a remedial course in medical ethics and patient care. His residency was terminated. His fellowship interviews were cancelled when the story went public. The story went viral because someone at dinner, I suspect Claire, who broke up with him 2 days later, shared what happened. Doctor tells dying sister she's faking kidney failure, ran in medical ethics journals, Twitter threads, and Reddit forums. Daniel's Instagram was flooded with comments from dialysis patients and their families. My parents called the day after Thanksgiving. How could you do this to your brother? My mother sobbed. You've ruined his career over a family argument. I didn't ruin anything. Daniel ruined it himself when he told his dying sister she was faking it in front of the chief medical officer of his hospital. He was trying to motivate you to stay positive, my father said. I have kidney failure, Dad. Positive thinking won't regenerate kidneys. And Daniel as a doctor should know that. The fact that he doesn't, or worse that he does and doesn't care, makes him dangerous to patients. He's your brother, my mother pleaded. And I'm his sister. But he left me alone in the ICU last year. He spent 6 months telling me I'm being dramatic about dialysis. He told me I could cure kidney failure with supplements. He's not acting like my brother. If you don't fix this, you're not part of this family. Good. I'm tired of being part of a family that treats my terminal illness like a character flaw. I hung up and blocked their numbers. Dr. Foster became an unexpected ally. He connected me with a patient advocacy group for kidney disease. He fast-tracked my case with the transplant team, personally reviewing my file. He wrote to the transplant committee emphasizing the urgency and lack of family support. 3 months later I got a kidney. Not from family they didn't offer, but from a deceased donor. Dr. Foster visited me after the transplant surgery. "How are you feeling?" he asked. "Like I have a future again," I said, crying. "Thank you. For believing me. For standing up for me. My sister died waiting for a transplant. Her family told her she was being dramatic too. I couldn't save her. But I could save you." 6 months post-transplant, I was invited to speak at St. Luke's Hospital about patient advocacy and medical gaslighting. The auditorium was full of residents, the same program Daniel had been expelled from. "When patients tell you they're suffering, believe them," I said, standing at the podium with my immunosuppressant medications in my bag. "When they describe serious symptoms, take them seriously. Because my own brother, a doctor, told me I was faking kidney failure. And if I'd believed him, if I'd stopped dialysis thinking I was just being dramatic, I'd be dead." The residents were silent. Several were crying. Medicine isn't just about diagnosis and treatment. It's about seeing suffering and responding with compassion. My brother lost his medical license because he couldn't do that for his own sister. Don't make the same mistake with your patients. The standing ovation lasted 5 minutes. Daniel sent one email after my transplant. "I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life over a misunderstanding." I didn't respond. There was no misunderstanding. He'd told his dying sister she was faking it and he'd face the consequences. My kidney function is normal now. I work full-time. I advocate for dialysis patients. I help families understand the seriousness of kidney disease. And when medical students ask how to avoid becoming like my brother, I tell them the truth. Believe your patients. Even when, especially when, those patients are family. Because empathy isn't optional in medicine. It's everything.